The trees loomed like dark sentinels, their twisted branches clawing at the gray sky as Sarah ventured deeper into the forest. The air was thick with fog, wrapping around her like a shroud, muting every sound except for the crunch of leaves underfoot. She was supposed to be enjoying a weekend getaway with friends, but when they wandered off to explore, curiosity led her to this haunting maze of shadows. She was alone now, or so she thought. A rustle in the underbrush made her heart leap into her throat. "Guys?" she called out, her voice trembling, swallowed by the dense mist. Silence answered her, a thick, oppressive silence that made her skin crawl. As she turned to retrace her steps, a chill raced down her spine. There, among the trees, was a figure. Lanky and distorted, it stood just out of the fog's reach, as if shy of the light. She squinted, trying to make out its features, but it shifted, melting back into the thicket. Panic set in. "This isn't funny!" she shouted. But the only reply was the quickening beat of her own heartbeat. Her friends were gone, vanished into the ether of the woods. As she stumbled forward, thoughts raced through her mind. How would she find them? Should she scream? Her instincts told her to run, but where to? The path had become a labyrinth, each turn looking eerily familiar, yet twisted beyond recognition. Every breath was a reminder that she was in a realm governed by something ancient. The trees swayed, whispering secrets in a language she could not understand. She caught a glimpse of movement out of the corner of her eye. More figures, more shadows, each faceless and silent. Her thoughts spiraled into a desperate frenzy as she rushed down a narrow path. Suddenly, a flicker of light ahead caught her attention. Hope surged. Perhaps it was her friends, or a way out. As she approached, the glow flickered ominously, illuminating an encampment. A circle of stones etched with strange symbols. The air turned heavy, thick with dread. Were they here? Were they safe? "Sarah!" a voice echoed from behind her, and she spun around, heart racing. It was Mark, her boyfriend, his face pale and fearful. "We've been looking for you. We have to go!" Confusion washed over her. They were here. "Something's not right," she gasped. But as she turned to show him, the flickering light had vanished. In its place stood the figures, closer now, their faces hidden behind grotesque masks of bark and bone. Mark grabbed her hand. "We need to run, now!" he urged. They sprinted down the path, the whispering trees closing in, branches reaching like fingers. They finally broke through the tree line, gasping for breath in a clearing bathed in moonlight. Relief quickly turned to horror. The clearing encircled an ancient altar, stained with dark patches of soil, roots twisting around it. Shadows danced, and from the altar, a low chant filled the air. The figures had followed. "Sarah, look!" Mark's voice trembled. His eyes widened in terror. She turned to see what he was pointing at. A figure emerged from the shadows, but this one was different. It was her. She stared in disbelief as her doppelganger smiled, a cold, eerie grin. Its eyes, hollow voids, staring into her soul. This body was not hers, not anymore. It was a hollow imitation, sent to lure Mark away. Before she could scream, the forest swallowed their cries. The last thing she heard was Mark's voice calling for her in desperation, fading into the whispering trees. The forest remained, ancient and unchanged, hiding its secrets beneath a veneer of tranquility, ready for its next visitors. As the moon hung high, Sarah's doppelganger stepped forward, each movement deliberate, uncanny, as if choreographed by a malevolent force. It wore a smile that twisted into something grotesque. "Join us, Sarah," it beckoned, the voice rolling over her like fog. Mark stood frozen, lips moving without words. The air thickened with dread as the figures slipped closer, encircling him. Their masks shifted like bark, their movements fluid and unnatural. It became clear he was now part of their dark ritual. "No! Stay away from him!" Sarah cried. But the forest pressed down, silencing her. The doppelganger tilted its head, teeth too sharp for a human smile. "Oh, Sarah, you belong here, with us, in the dark." Her heart pounded. She realized the truth. Her friends were gone, consumed by the forest's unfathomable hunger. And now it sought her, hungering for her essence. She steeled herself, defiance rising against the terror. With a surge of adrenaline, she lunged toward the altar. "Mark!" she screamed, reaching for him. But the figures closed in, their chant vibrating through the ground. The ancient symbols glowed faintly, pulsing like a heartbeat. Then, the air shifted. A wind whipped through the clearing, carrying laughter, her laughter. It filled her with rage, a cruel reminder of the joy they had once shared. "I am not yours!" she cried. The shadows recoiled, wavering. Mark followed her lead, stepping back, breaking free of the circle. "We're getting out of here, together!" he shouted. Hope flickered. For the first time, the chant faltered. Sarah seized her chance. She dove for Mark's hand. They pivoted to flee as the figures shrieked, rage echoing in the woods. The forest roared, branches clawing, roots grasping. But they didn't stop. They couldn't stop. They burst into an open field, the sky a tapestry of stars. They collapsed into the grass, gasping for breath. For a moment, silence. The figures were gone. One breath, two, three. Sarah turned to Mark, searching his face for reassurance. But his expression was blank, his eyes vacant. "Mark?" she whispered. It was too late. The forest still held him. "Sarah, it was beautiful," he whispered, voice like smoke. "I want to go back." "No, Mark!" she cried, reaching for him. But he walked toward the tree line, pulled by something unseen. She stood frozen, knowing she had lost him. In anguish, she turned to flee. The voices swelled around her, welcoming her into the shadows. She sank to her knees, surrendering to the creeping dark. The forest loomed like a cradle of mist and silence, and as she succumbed, her cries were swallowed by the ancient trees. The night resumed its silence. The forest stood eternal, its secrets buried deep, waiting for the next souls to wander too far.